name is Stephanie, and
I'm Zach.
And we own Zephanie's Pizza on the North Shore of Oahu, Hawaii.
Hawaii, wow. So you came to Pizza Expo from Hawaii. What were you hoping to get from Pizza Expo?
You know, we've heard about Pizza Expo for years. It's always been something that we just wanted to be a part of, to experience. When we entered into the pizza business, it just was something that, you know, we really just wanted to get into it. We love pizza, we love sharing it with people, and that was our passion behind it. And so there's so much that we don't know about the industry. Yeah. So, you know, we just wanted to come and experience that. And so this year we were just excited. We talked about it for a year, and so we just set things up to where, like, let's just go soak it all in. Let's go find out what we don't know. Let's go meet new people. Let's network. And so I think that was really our main goal.
Yeah, we're super new to the industry, so I feel like because we're super newer, we have such an open mind, and we came into this with not any expectations besides networking and just honestly sourcing and just being, like Zach said, being open to just learning, because I feel like the best way is to just open yourself up to learn and to build yourself from the community.
I love that. That's amazing. And you know what? You have such a unique story, because we kind of talked a little bit before we came on the show about the fact that you were in college and decided, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and open a business. Let's talk about that a little bit, because that's kind of inspiring, especially to a lot of our listeners who haven't opened their first location yet, and you guys jumping in at a young age and just right out of school. So tell us a little bit about that experience.
Me and Zach were both in college. We honestly, I don't even know how it came up that we wanted to do pizza. I think it was just one day, Zach came home and was like, hey, let's do pizza as a couple for fun and just start making our own dough and just invite friends over. And so we started doing that, and we had our friends over, and we were just building off of that. And then slowly we were just college students, and we're like, you know, this would be really fun just to start something on the side to help pay for the bills and to pay for college and to pay for a living, just because, you know, we're poor college students. And so we slowly started doing markets. And for the markets, I guess you want to share where?
Yeah, I mean, it really just grew from there, and kind of what Steph was saying. I mean, I feel like a lot of people can maybe resonate with that part, which is, you know, I grew up making pizza with my family, but I didn't grow up in the pizza business, and neither did Stephanie. And so it's kind of a scary shift mentally of going from, okay, I'm studying, I want to go do these things. You know, my education's taking me somewhere, but we just have this pull towards pizza out of nowhere. And so, like Steph said, it started off with us just saying, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we did this? Wouldn't it be, like, if we were to start a pizza company, and our first location's out of a food truck. And so what if we started a pizza truck? What would we call it? What kind of pizza would we make? And so it was just a lot of conversations, and then that led into us, you know, we found out about, you know, portable pizza ovens, and so we bought an Oni and just started from there. Learned how to make it. We were terrible at the beginning. Got the style that we loved. Honestly, just a lot of practice for a long time, and like Steph said, started selling it out of our house on the weekends just for fun. Just to learn it, really. And then from there, you know, people in our community would reach out more, and we started doing like small birthdays and things like that. And then we really just decided, okay, if we're gonna do this, let's see what it takes and go as into it as we can.
And I even remember, like, me and Zach, we sat down and we looked at a business template. And we sat there for hours just filling out, like, what a business template was like, implementing, like, ideas that we have, bouncing off ideas. And it was like a night full of just excitement of just, like, bouncing ideas. Like, how would it look like to build a food truck? How would it look like to build your own pizza business? And that was really fun, and anxiety, and it was just all of the feelings all at once. It was just so fun to just jump into that.
And you're now 3 years into the business, and you're actually looking at a second business or a second location. What prompted you to want to do that, and how's it going with developing that?
It's a lot of fun. When we started it, I think it was always our intention to grow as big as we can, you know, and I don't think we ever thought, okay, we just want to have one spot. We thought, if we're going to do this, we want to, you know, we put together, like Stephanie said, we put together a business plan. We stayed up all night because we knew, okay, so we need something to be able to you know, pitch to investors, to banks, to, you know, landlords when we had to find a place. And so putting together that business plan, that was one thing that we decided is, okay, we want to have something that we can scale and we can grow. And so we told ourselves, we said, okay, we're going to give ourselves the first year of just figuring it out. First year of working all day, every day. We're going to put in the work.
Yeah.
By year 2, we want to know what it means to hire people. What does that look like? What are they going to do? And then by year, at the end of year 2, that's where we want to look at our plan and say, okay, like what can we do to expand? And so it always was kind of our goal. I think a big part of it is just looking at different opportunities.
Yeah.
We knew down the road, as we grow our business and as we scale, that we'd see people reaching out. So we just honestly prepared for that, I'd say.
That's amazing. And you have a very unique, so you've got 2 pizza styles.
Yeah.
And we need to go into those 2 styles, because one of them is very, very unique. And especially you're in Hawaii, so it means you have a little different perspective on what that pizza is. So tell us a little bit about it.
So when we decided to start doing pizza, my family, I'm Vietnamese and African American, and I was raised very Vietnamese. So I speak it. So my family immigrated. I'm the first. Me and my siblings are the first to be born in the U.S. And when Zach came to me with the idea of let's do pizza. I told him, like, hey, we can do pizzas as long as we implement a little bit of my culture in there, and that's what I want. And so we, living in Hawaii, when we moved there about 6 years ago, I was really homesick. And the one thing that made me really excited about being in Hawaii is how immersive it is in terms of Asian culture, and how much the Pacific culture and the Asian culture are very intertwined with their food and the ingredients that they use. And so it was really cool for me. Like, we have a ton of Tongan friends, a ton of Samoan friends, and a lot of them use the same ingredients that Southeast Asia use. And so it was really fun for me in the first 3 years of us in college, just seeing the coronation and saying, oh, you use coconut in this? I do too, and we do it like this, but it's the same food, but just different texture, different taste. And so it was really fun for me, and food is a really big deal with me in general. And so when we decided to do it, that's what we did. And so we have our traditional crust, which is, we do Neapolitan style pizzas, 12 inches, which we have like the white traditional crust. But then we also have our taro crust, which is made out of taro. It's made out of poi. And so we have 2 types of dough, and our taro is definitely what has made us big on the North Shore, is that we're known for our Neapolitan taro dough. And we have also implemented really fun toppings as well. We have a banh mi pizza, we have a pho pizza, we have what we call the hukilao pizza, which is pulled pork, pineapple, barbecue. It's what was originally on the taro dough originally, but people love using the taro dough on the banh mi or the pho pizza. We used to have a huli pizza, and so we really intertwined Asian and Pacific fusion pizzas into our Neapolitan style.
I love that. Now, for those that don't know what taro is and how you're able to incorporate that in a pizza dough, talk a little bit about how you're able to do that, and even what it is and how you're able to use it.
I'm actually going to let Zach talk about this, because he's a pizza dough guy.
No,
I saw this, and it's very vibrant and beautiful.
And honestly, it was so fun to experiment with. So different, but honestly, it's very unique. It's kind of like a sweet potato. It's kind of the closest thing you compare it to. Definitely like a sweeter, kind of a nutty flavor.
And very purple.
Very purple, And so a dish in Hawaii is poi, which is essentially like pounded down taro mixed with water. It kind of gives it kind of like a pudding consistency almost. And so it honestly makes it really good to mix into other dishes. And so it's not uncommon for people to do that, mix it into noodles or mix it into other type of breads. And so we honestly we always loved that and experimenting with it. So that's what led us into thinking, okay, what if we did a pizza dough with it, right? And the great thing with that is it also goes really well with, like Stephanie said, putting kalua pork and pineapple and all these other things that they go really hand in hand with these flavors.
Yeah, because as you know, taro in the Southeast, because taro came from the Southeast to us. Sorry, my bad. Taro came from the Southeast Asia, and so when it was brought to Hawaii, the Hawaiians have used it to, like Zach said, the poi and all. But we kind of use it. We steam it down, and we use it in coconut and so stuff like that. And so I think we kind of just infused those a little bit. So it was really cool. So like Zach said, there's that nutty taste, but also like that. What's it called? It has a consistency kind of like a mochi, but a Neapolitan style. So it's kind of fun. It's a really fun pizza. Yeah.
So I'm curious because I always think about that, like the dough science and the experimentation of it. You know, when you're used to making traditional Neapolitan dough and then you have the taro dough, are there adaptations that you have to make in order for it to cook off properly? Not the texture, the texture consistency, all of that goes into tasting and testing and creating this from the taro.
Yeah, no, for sure. And honestly, anybody who's ever tried these different things and added different things to dough, they know once you add a starch to pizza dough, it completely changes the chemistry, right?
Yes.
It changes the gluten, the structure behind it, and so it really is a big difference. With that, as well as a lot of the poi, like what we source the poi itself, and so it has water in it. So that's something, right? So to adjust the hydration content, because we want it to match as close as we can to our traditional dough. But yeah, I'd say that the biggest balance to find is, number one, obviously you got to have the right hydration, because adding a starch can really kind of cause it to tear a lot easier. The gluten doesn't form as well, so you need to account for that and find that balance of, it's going to be a little bit more dense of a crust, which is what it's meant to be, but also being able to find, I still want there to be a really good stretch, right?
Yeah.
And so what does that mean? It means that it needs to ferment longer.
Yeah.
And so talking with our employees, they know, so that the taro dough needs to ferment for a longer schedule than our traditional dough. And so, it definitely changes up quite a little bit. But what we love about it is if you get it just right, you still get that nice leoparding, you still get that nice rise, you still get the thin bottom, but that nice soft and crunchy top. It browns really well on the outside, but once you tear into it, it's got that nice purple in it. So it's really fun to just put together.
To play with. I love that.
And it smells amazing, I gotta say.
That's
really,
what I'm
really
thinking.
good.
Yeah, it smells really good.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked a little bit about some of the pairings with it. What is your favorite way to have it, even if it's something you don't have on your menu? Like, what's your favorite way to do it?
I'm gonna be so honest with you.
Yeah.
My favorite on the taro is our banh mi pizza. Hands down. Hands down. Our banh mi pizza is like one of my favorite pizzas. It's our first baby. So the two pizzas that we put on our menu for the first time is the hukilao on the taro crust, which is the pineapple Kahlua pork barbecue, and then our banh mi pizza was the other specialty. So those are the two specialties that were like our baby. That it was like something.
And the banh mi itself. One thing I really like about it. So we, after all that effort and opening, and we put together our menu, and we made the sign and did everything. And the night before opening, we were just kind of doing a test run, going through the menu. And we put together a banh mi sandwich in the form of a pizza just for fun to try it.
Yeah.
Stephanie put it together, and we loved it so much. We're like, we gotta have this.
Yeah.
And so we just threw it on right before we opened, and we just had it on ever since, just because we love it.
Yeah.
It's just a part of us.
Yeah, the banh mi pizza is definitely a big one, and it reminds me of growing up. Like, your family immigrated to the U.S. and you find your little pockets of the Asian community.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the store, and if you were a good kid, like your mom would buy you like a banh bao or a banh mi sandwich. And so for me, banh mi just means so much to me. And so every time I'm feeling a little homesick, I just make a banh mi pizza, and it just takes away everything.
Yeah.
And just mixing it with the taro, it just gives it that extra intensity and flavor profile that is just really beautiful. But I would say like the other one that's really good with it is that people love doing with it is our pizza margarita.
Oh yeah, I could see a margarita being great.
Like people do like pepperoni pizza margarita. The last time someone did cheese on it the other day, so it really pairs really well with anything.
Okay.
But I definitely would say the banh mi is my favorite, and we have a curry pizza that we play off of words. We call it the Steph curry. So Steph
that's
curry.
hilarious. That's great.
Steph, if you hear this, but the curry one is really good on it as well.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you've mentioned all of these really creative pies, and they really work well in your market since you're kind of in a touristy market where people are willing to try new things, right? So tell us about that, how you're able to really kind of stretch the bounds of what pizza is within your market.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. You know, one thing that really inspired us, honestly, to start in the beginning was we noticed as we'd go around, we'd go to different food places and we would go out to lunch, and we always would just be wanting pizza, and there just wasn't a whole lot of options. And there were a couple families that would come by and we'd overhear them, and the kids just saying, I just really want pizza. Where can we find good pizza? And so that was one of the times that we were saying, you know what, let's just do this. Let's provide something to the North Shore that we love. And that's honestly what pizza has been for us, is we like to do it a little bit different because it's just our way of expressing it, right? And so there's a lot of freedom that we give ourselves to experiment. You know, we have that wide range just because, you know, we want to express dishes that were really important to both of us, and Stephanie especially.
Yeah, for sure. But like as you said, we still, like Zach said about that, there's still kids who don't want they don't want shrimp. They don't want they want
they want
poke,
cheese.
they want cheese, they want pepperoni, and so we definitely still target that market of people who come and try that. But we definitely have noticed a big rise in coming to try our taro crust and those really crazy fun flavors that, like Zach says, means a lot to us. Yeah.
Breaking into entrepreneurship early, you know, what's the big, do you have a big goal that you want to reach? Like, you know, getting into business ownership at a young age, where do you see it going?
You know, like we said earlier, we've always had the goal, I guess, of just growing as big as we can, right? And setting our own goals and breaking those goals. I think when we first opened, we kind of were a little conservative on those goals. You know, we just wanted to break, you know, certain numbers are really, you know, not as big as we thought we could. And every year we seem to surprise ourselves with that. Yeah, and I think that's really the fun thing too, is whereas we started when we were a bit younger and we're still learning how to do it, is you just kind of learn along the way, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, like, things change and your plans pivot and life happens, but ultimately it's just it's a fun thing to go about, especially as husband and wife. We go about it together, and we always look at our business and say, okay, what's the next step, right? And obviously opportunities come that you never think would have happened, and it just changes, but it all goes for the better.
Yeah, I like to just piggyback on that. Like, we definitely came into this as husband and wife, trying to build a future for us and for our child. Like, we're about to expect.
I was saying you got a baby boy, maybe a second generation owner, maybe
hopefully. So we definitely, like, from that standpoint, we definitely wanted to build something for ourselves, but we have big hopes that it will grow and that we will definitely have multiple locations and be able to not only provide that style of pizza in Hawaii, but able to bring it to the mainland and things like that, into multiple locations on different parts of the island as well, is what our hopes is. And so we like to dream big, because you never know. And I think that's something we learned starting, is that we, like Zach said, we were super conservative with it, but as we're learning to grow, like, the only person that really truly stumps you and stops you in life is you, because you're so scared to be like, well, I want this, but then you kind of look a little silly, because they're like, okay, you can dream, but we really do want to dream bigger. We want to reach higher than what we can imagine.
Well, I'm going to put this bug in your ear for next year, is you should compete in the non-traditional division with your taro pizza banh mi.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if it's non-traditional division, you may find you're a stunner over there. So I'm just saying.
Okay.
But I wish you guys all the best. Thanks for coming onto the podcast and sharing your story. It's amazing.
Of course. Thank you so much for having us. We love pizza today. So excellent. So awesome.
Sweet.
Are you looking for smarter ways to improve consistency, efficiency, and bake quality in your pizza operation? Spokane Valley, Washington-based Lloyd Pans is the trusted name for commercial pizzerias and home chefs alike. For over 40 years, Lloyd Pans has been creating innovative pizza pans and tools designed to deliver perfect results every time. Whether it's crispy golden pizza crusts or perfectly baked pastries, Lloyd Pan's durable, stick-resistant, and proprietary pan finishes are a game changer. Going beyond pizza? Visit lloydpans.com to explore our lineup of food service and bakeware pans and accessories. Need shipping quotes or custom products? Email sales@lloydpans.com for personalized service. Are you looking to get your brand in front of passionate pizza pros? Well, you've come to the right place. The Hot Slice Podcast, brought to you by Pizza Today. We're all about everything pizza business. Each week, we dive into fun conversations about trends, tasty tips, and insider stories from the pizza world. Our listeners are engaged and eager to discover what's new and improve their craft, with help from brands like you. Imagine your brand reaching pizzeria owners and pizza enthusiasts while they enjoy our laid-back chats. It's a perfect match. Whether you're selling equipment, ingredients, or anything that makes pizza better, our ad spots are designed to connect you with the right audience. So if you're ready to slice into something special, reach out to us about advertising on the Hot Slice podcast. Let's share the love of pizza together.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Hot Slice.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Can you tell us your names, your pizzeria name, and where you're from?
So my name is Carlos. This is my wife.
Kelly.
We're from Montclair, California. And we have a mobile pizza catering company called Bella and Penelope's.
Ooh.
Named after our daughters.
Fantastic. When did you open?
What?
We started in 2022, slowly doing like pop-ups about the garage, and then we moved on to like breweries. And then we kind of shifted into really the catering aspect of it and doing private events and parties. And that's been going on for the last few years now, and that's been the best part, I would say, that we've enjoyed is the events, the private caterings, because when we do like a baby shower, for example, and then a year later we're called back to do the first birthday for the newborn, we're like, that's awesome. It means a lot to us, so it's cool.
That is cool. So it sounds like you're kind of being made part of the family for some of these.
In a way, yeah. We get called back for a lot of events, and we see the same faces, and it's always been great to see them back.
From a business perspective, how is working events and parties compared to like a pop-up situation?
Well, caterings, they're a lot more personable. We decorate the tables, and we take the time to get to know the families that we're serving and meet their guests and families. And pop-ups is great as well because we meet a lot of new faces, where say it'll be at a farmer's market or at a brewery. One of our favorite breweries is Level Up Brewing in Montclair. It's like an arcade brewery, and there's all these new people that are going there, and we get to meet them and get to try our product, and they say, wow, this is great. And then from there, we either get a new Instagram follower, or they're thinking, we have a party coming up in a few months. Are you guys available? I said, I'd love to be there. So it's good to meet new people, but the pop-ups are up and down. It's hit or miss sometimes. Factors like rain or holidays will come in, whereas a catering, we know it's the set amount of people, guests, and we know how much product to take.
Great. Kelly, how do you break down workload? Do either of you have kind of a specialty part of the business that you work in, or does everyone do everything?
So I kind of do the back side of it. So like for his caterings, I decorate, I make sure I purchase everything, and I customize signs. So I use a lot of Cricut because I have a full-time job. I'm a special education teacher. So that's how I'm able to help him. I can't be there all the time because I'm also with our two daughters. Mm-hmm. So when I have time, I do the back end, and then he goes and does everything else in the front end.
Got it. Is it a little bit easier when you're doing the catering to kind of plan inventory and ordering and that sort of thing?
Oh, 100%. Because then we have our set amount of people coming out. We like to take a little more to make sure, sometimes you get a little bit more people eating more. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we take a little more, but it's easier to know, okay, this is how much we have to take. We know nothing's going to go to waste versus pop-ups. We don't know. Yeah. Like it's a hit or miss, like Carlos said.
Yeah. And do you bring extra dough with you?
We do. We bring about 10% extra of what the guest count is, just to make up for if we burn anything or if we drop a pizza, or like Kelly said, we have some people that are a little hungrier than others, so it kind of makes up for that.
Do you have employees? Is it mostly the two of you?
No, it's mostly us, but we also have Ricardo and Alexia, who are great team members. They've been with us since the beginning, and we're able to do multiple pop-ups in a day or handle larger caterings because of them. So it's definitely a team effort.
So that means that they've been with you for over 3 years?
About Ricardo, yes, for about 3 years, and then Alexia, I think, on 2.
How do you retain staff for that long? I know it's a huge issue trying to hire, train, retain staff in the pizza industry.
Well, Ricardo, I've known for some years now. We worked together at another restaurant in the past, so it's more friends. We're still very small, so we haven't gotten to the point where we're going to hire employees that we've never known before. But right now, it's just friends and family that are helping us grow this, and we'll see where it takes us.
Got it. And what kind of pizza do you make?
We make Neapolitan style pizza. It's not, I know, like Leo Spazzeri is listening to this or going to hear this. I know it's not a traditional, but what we've learned is in our area where we're at, there's not too much of Neapolitan style. We have people coming up to us all the time when they try it. They don't understand it. Like they know the New York or like a pan pizza, but they're not too familiar with it. So we feel like this is our way of offering this style of pizza to our local community, and they can experience something a little different.
Is that ever a challenge that people aren't really familiar with Neapolitan?
Definitely. I mean, as you know, Neapolitan, there is some char on the crust because it's cooked at a higher temperature. A lot of people will say, "Oh, well, can you not burn my pizza? Or why is it burnt?" And we're like, and we have to, tell them a little bit about it, describe it, say it's not burnt, it's just a higher temperature, and the hydration of the dough and the fermentation creates these bubbles which will char on. But after they take the first bite, I think they understand it. We win them over, exactly.
Oh, nice. Excellent. It sounds like, Kelly, you're kind of into the presentation and the graphics.
100%.
How did you come up with kind of the aesthetic that you wanted to use?
So I was kind of thinking, I kind of go off of what they present me. So I'm like, hey, what is your theme? Or whatever their theme, I try my best to my ability to kind of research it and then find decorations, or if we already have it, how can I incorporate it into their color scheme or their kind of theme. So like a kid, I did, jungle theme. So I was able to use vines I already had, but all I did was order some animals and stick it in our vines, and they fell in love with it.
Oh,
so,
great.
Yeah.
How about the graphics for your own pizzeria? Was that kind of an evolution of how you came up with the look?
I kind of took that one over from him. I just loved green. I love the color green, so I kind of took that and I don't know, I kind of played with it, and then he really liked it, and I was like, yeah, let's just go with our green and our like dark colors. And
kind of the base color scheme for like some caterings.
Yeah.
Nice.
Our logo has changed over the years. So this one is a shirt that we did with one of the local artists out there. His name was Jake Riley, and we told him we wanted to do like this is around October. We want to do like a spooky kind of Halloween skeleton cooking pizza type of thing, and he jotted some stuff together, and we came up with the shirt design. Kind of took the font of like Goosebumps. We had a little creepy.
Yeah.
Nice.
So kind of taking it back, childhood.
Yes.
So we've dropped a couple different like styles and T-shirts with like different logos to keep it interesting and something for our guests to
Excellent.
buy.
Fantastic. Let's see. What is something that you have changed since you started making pizzas professionally? It can be about the business or about the way that you cook them.
A lot of things, like the dough, for example, that changed several times over the years, and even still, we're kind of playing with it. As you know, that's one of those things that it could never be set. Like depending on the temperature, the season, that'll change your dough. So the dough, we've been playing with that. Definitely one that changes. I think our approach to caterings as well. We like to be hospitality for me is like the biggest thing. Like I don't like when we go into a restaurant and the food is great, food is good, but hospitality kind of lacks. So that's been one that's changed. We started, I guess, very simple. We're kind of shy because we've never owned a catering business before when we first started out. So then as we grew into it, I just really wanted to dial in to make sure that our customer was happy and that they know that we were appreciative that we're there as part of their big celebration.
Are there any questions that you ask on the front end to make sure that you are really delivering when the day comes?
Yeah, besides like the typical guest count and what the celebration is, I ask them if they have any food allergies, if they have any, they need any gluten-free options. Because we offer gluten-free, we offer vegan options as well. So again, we're really tailoring to what their needs are.
And do you make your own gluten-free, or do you buy?
We right now we're purchasing, and then we have played with our gluten-free. I know King Arthur has a really good gluten-free flour that we've tried, but that's one of the things that I'm still trying to work in for that option. But yeah, right now it's a pre-made dough.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
If you had to share one lesson that you've learned since launching your pizzeria, Does one come to the top of mind? This can be for either of you.
I would say, I'll go first, I guess. An accumulation of just everything. Mainly not being afraid to want to do something or expand on something because I don't know, because or being ignorant to it. Just go for it anyway. Because if you wait for the right time, it's never going to be there. Or you're always going to get in your head and say, I should have waited another year, and by that time comes, you're not going to do it. So just whatever it is, whatever idea you have, no matter how crazy it sounds in your head, just go for it.
I love it.
Just do it.
Good.
Did you want to add on something?
No, you're important.
Perfect.
The ground running, basically.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming by.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.